painstaking detail and slowed down body camera footage. Tonight, Columbus police are defending their officer's decision to use force against a 16-year-old teenage girl and urging the public not to rush to judgment. As you just saw, she appeared to be about to lunge at other teens with a knife in hand. In a split-second decision, the officer decided to shoot. And one day after that guilty verdict, what comes next for Derek Chauvin and the Floyd family? My conversation with the family attorney, Ben Crump.
It's about making sure that every American can enjoy the constitutional promise of equal justice under the law.
The 9-year-old girl who was there watching the day George Floyd died, we speak to her tonight. And the new federal investigation tonight into the Minneapolis Police Department. As President Biden celebrates 200 million administered shots since taking office, tonight, a vaccine tipping point. New data shows we may be getting closer to vaccine supply overtaking vaccine demand. As the rest of the world waits for more extensive access to a vaccine, in India, the situation tonight is dire. Cases are skyrocketing, deaths are spiraling out of control. What officials say must happen in order to slow the spread. And can you smell the perfume? In France tonight, the research being done with people who lost their sense of smell when they got COVID. And it could be the key to our country's all-electric future, but at what cost? And can we produce enough of it? Our Ginger Z's exclusive tour of America's only active lithium mine deep in the Mojave Desert.
Here at Silver Peak, they're not mining rock, they're farming lithium. These brilliant blue pools come from wells that tapped underground salt aquifers. Each of them, nearly 500 football fields long, are rich in lithium.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. A shift in mood from relief to resolve one day after the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial. So many trying to move beyond the cheers to change. Many describing yesterday's verdict as a seminal moment. In the future, so many will likely remember where they were when they heard those 3 guilty verdicts announced. In cities across the country, Americans overcome with emotion, exhaling, if only but for a moment. Tonight, there are calls for change and action to combat racial injustice in policing. Tonight, we are getting our first look at images of a now convicted Chauvin, where he's being held at a maximum security prison as he awaits sentencing. Now that he's been found guilty, there are questions about what comes next. How can police better serve and protect in the communities where they live? And tonight, an announcement from the Justice Department that it has opened up an investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department. Once again, our Alex Perez leads us off from Minneapolis.
Tonight, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is inmate 261557 at Minnesota's only maximum security prison, spending 23 hours a day in a stark cell like this one, isolated from his fellow prisoners for his own safety in what's called administrative segregation. Chauvin, the rare police officer tried and convicted for killing someone while on duty.
Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff.
Chauvin handcuffed and led away. The Justice Department now weighing whether to bring federal civil rights charges against him. And today, Attorney General Merrick Garland putting the entire Minneapolis Police Department under the microscope.
The Justice Department has opened a civil investigation to determine whether the Minneapolis Police Department engages in a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful policing.
The probe will assess whether the department engages in discriminatory conduct.
It will include a comprehensive review of the Minneapolis Police Department's policies, training, supervision, and use of force investigations.
Swear or affirm.
Minneapolis Police Chief Medaria Arredondo testified Chauvin's actions in no way, shape, or form reflect departmental policy.
It is not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
The chief now welcoming the federal investigation. And tonight, for so many, the verdict is cause for hope. Among them, 9-year-old Judea Reynolds, who witnessed Floyd's murder and testified she told Chauvin to get off of him. Prosecutors saying the crime was so clear a child could see it. Judea speaking to our Robin Roberts.
And what was everybody saying when they heard that the former police officer had been found guilty? What were people saying around you?
My mom said that we brought change. My dad said we won.
What were you thinking and feeling?
Kind of proud.
Such a brave little girl there. Alex Perez joins us once again from Minneapolis. Alex, tell us about what's next for Derek Chauvin.
Yeah, Lindsay, he's supposed to be sentenced in 8 weeks. Now, the judge will have a lot of discretion when it comes to sentencing, but he could face a maximum of up to 40 years behind bars, Lindsay.
And Alex, meantime, the 3 other officers charged in connection with the death of George Floyd now scheduled to go on trial in August.
Yeah, Lindsay, that trial is supposed to start on August 23rd. They're all charged as accomplices with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. But given that guilty verdict in the Chauvin trial, it remains unclear if they would try to strike a plea deal to avoid going to trial altogether. Lindsay?
Alex Perez reporting in from Minneapolis. Thanks so much, Alex. And now to the new Department of Justice investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department that was announced today. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas joins us now. Pierre, this is called a pattern or practice investigation. Explain what that means.
Lindsay, pattern or practice investigations are powerful tools, and they look into every aspect of a police department's actions and policies. It's essentially an audit that can examine who's being arrested and why. In Minneapolis, an ABC News investigation with our own stations found blacks were 19% of the city's population in 2018, but made up a whopping 63% of arrests. And we found black drivers were 5 times more likely to be pulled over than white drivers. Under the Obama administration, the Justice Department launched 25 pattern or practice investigations. Under the Trump administration, just 1 was launched. In our exclusive interview with the Attorney General this week, he vowed to use every resource to ensure equal justice, and he now appears to be putting every police department in the nation on notice, Lindsay.
And Pierre, one of those investigations during the Obama administration that you mentioned looked at the Ferguson, Missouri Police Department after the 2014 shooting death of Michael Brown by police. What was the outcome of that investigation?
Well, one of the things they found is that the police department was engaging in a pattern and practice of basically using traffic violations and other such methods to target black people to fill the city coffers. That was the allegation.
Pierre Thomas, our thanks to you. And we're joined now by George Floyd's brother, Philonise Floyd, and Ben Crump, attorney for the George Floyd family, also the families of Dante Wright, Pamela Turner, Breonna Taylor, and so many others. Thank you both so much for your time. Philonise, I'd like to start with you. You've been kind of naming and claiming that there would be a conviction in this case from the beginning. What was it like in that actual moment when you heard it had come to fruition?
Well, I was nervous at the time. I was pacing back and forth over and over. And Attorney Crump and my wife both told me, hey, whatever you have to do to make yourself comfortable, just pace back and forth if you need to. So I constantly was doing it over and over. But as soon as they told us that I had to go in the courtroom, I went to that lonely section where there's only one seat, because there's only one family member in the courtroom. And I started praying, hoping that the verdict come out the way I wanted it to come out. And 30 minutes later, the jury and the judge came out. And that's when I was really hoping, and all I heard was guilty, guilty, and guilty. And I was so happy. I wanted to jump up and down. It just felt like my brother always said, it felt like we won a championship. And my wife, she also said the same thing. We're bringing the W back to Houston. We were just happy, just on cloud 9.
Mr. Crump, yesterday was such an important day for the Floyd family, for you, and really the entire country. How are you feeling tonight as the news of that guilty verdict sinks in and the reactions continue to pour in?
Well, I continue to be grateful to God for leading us to this moment. And I pray that this would be a precedent that will hopefully have finally where all Americans, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and Native Americans can feel included when they say with liberty and justice for all. Because that's what this is about. It's about making sure that every American can enjoy the constitutional promise of equal justice under the law. And that's why I think it's such an historic verdict for what could come of the precedents.
And Philonis, there were so many cheers yesterday, but now people are kind of shifting gears to change. What does change going forward look like for you?
Change is pushing the George Floyd Policing, the George Floyd for Justice Policing Act. We need to push that because blood is on that bill. Breonna Taylor is on that bill with the no-knock warrant. She was an innocent person killed inside of her home. Eric Garner and my brother George Floyd, no chokehold law. That needs to be distinguished right now. We need to push this bill forward. Also, we need to end qualified immunity. This is devastating what's going on with police brutality these days. Every day you look up, it's like a never-ending cycle. It's somebody being killed every day. And unfortunately, I have to console Dante Wright's family, who was killed in Minneapolis, 10 miles from the courthouse that we were in there holding police officers accountable at. But I tell you what, they're getting stronger. The dad is getting stronger, the mom is getting stronger, and the auntie spoke out from the beginning. And I will continue to help people like her, that family, Pamela Turner's family, Ahmaud Arbery's family, Joshua Feast's family, others all over this world, Breonna Taylor, to get justice.
And Mr. Crump, as Pierre Thomas just reported, the Justice Department has launched a so-called pattern or practice investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department. What can we learn from this probe that wasn't brought to light in the Derek Chauvin trial?
Well, hopefully like the Ferguson investigation after the killing of Michael Brown, we learned that there was systemic racism and discrimination in the way the community was being policed. And we believe that this is a welcome investigation from DOJ because they're going to look at the implicit bias, which I think is the crux of the matter. Because when you think of George Floyd, his death was a direct result of over-policing of black people. It was a misdemeanor allegation of a fraudulent $20 bill. They could have given him a ticket. They did not have to try to arrest him. But with his marginalized minorities, especially black people, it seems to be the police engage in the most excessive use of force. The same thing with Dante Wright. It was a traffic citation. They could have given him a ticket, but yet she felt she had to tase him when there was no need to do it. It was a misdemeanor. And the same thing with the lieutenant in Virginia who they pulled over. The fact that this was a man who was risking his life to protect our liberty and democracy, but yet they treated him with no humanity when they pepper sprayed him multiple times in the face. And that is why we need DOJ to get to the crux of the matter and see if there's a pattern of implicit bias.
And want to just turn back to George Floyd again, because 3 other former Minneapolis officers are scheduled, as you know, to be tried in August for allegedly aiding Chauvin's murder of him. How hard do you think it'll be for prosecutors to get convictions in those cases?
Well, I don't think it'll be difficult when you look at how well they did in holding Derek Chauvin responsible. And you have to look at it from our perspective in our community. When people commit crimes in our neighborhood, if you were in the car, if you were driving the car, you are charged and convicted just like them. And hopefully there will be some form of accountability. It may not be as much as Chauvin, but you want to send a message to police officers that you have to stand up and make sure you do your job and protect and serve, even if your fellow officer is not following the policies and committing a crime. You have to be the people who hold them accountable, not stand behind the blue wall of silence.
Which we did see shattered, of course, in this case. Philonis, last question to you. So many people have said, had it not been for this video, we may not have come to the same conclusion that was reached yesterday. Any words that you would like to say to Darnella Frazier, who shot the videotape?
I would like to tell her it's not nothing that I can say to you to explain how much I can thank you, but I can tell you that God had her in a place at the right time to do her job. That what she was called here for, to make sure that she can change this world. Just like George's daughter said, my dad is going to change the world. It was people he put in place to help do that. It's not just Darnella who had the video. You had the 9-year-old there, and she quivered as she spoke about George being tortured to death in front of her. She's going to have PTSD in the future, or she's having it right now, because Darnella said that every time I think about George, I think about my dad, I think about my brother, I think about my cousins, I think about how it could have been my uncle or one of my friends. And she said I shouldn't have to wake up in the middle of the night. It should be Chauvin waking up in the middle of the night trying to figure out why he didn't save George.
And perhaps
People
he will.
Spoke out.
Philonis, Floyd, we thank you so much. Mr. Crump, both of you, appreciate your time and coming on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
As some Americans across the country celebrated the outcome of the Derek Chauvin trial, word of another police-involved shooting began to surface, this time out of Ohio, where an unfortunate knife fight between teen girls led to one of their deaths. ABC's Trevor Ault is in Columbus, Ohio for us.
Just hours after Derek Chauvin's guilty verdict, outrage erupting in the streets again over yet another police shooting, this time in Columbus, Ohio. Hundreds of demonstrators shouting the name of Ma'Khia Bryant, a 16-year-old killed by a Columbus police officer Tuesday afternoon.
It's these grown girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stop us getting here now.
Today, police releasing 911 calls and new body camera footage of the incident. Officer Nicholas Reardon stepping out of his vehicle, approaching multiple people in an altercation. It appears Ma'Khia Bryant, in the black t-shirt and jeans, swings a knife at the girl in pink. Officer Reardon then firing a burst of shots.
She had a knife. She just went at her.
Officers then performing CPR on Bryant until paramedics arrived. She would later die at the hospital. Her aunt at the scene in anguish.
She was a good kid. She was loving. Yeah, she had issues, but that's okay. She deserved to die like a dog on the street.
Now, pressing questions for the Columbus Division of Police and their continued use of lethal force. In December, Casey Goodson Jr. and Andre Hill, now Ma'Khia Bryant, all shot and killed. And tonight, the mayor of Columbus is asking questions too.
Did Ma'Khia Bryant need to die yesterday? How did we get here? This is a failure on part of our community. Some are guilty, but all of us are responsible.
Trevor Ault joins us now. The officer who shot Ma'Khia Bryant is now on administrative leave. Has the department come out and said whether they think the shooting was justified?
Well, they haven't so far, Lindsay, because there's an independent investigation going on right now to determine whether Officer Reardon followed policy or broke the law. So the interim chief of police said they cannot comment specifically on this shooting right now. However, he has said more broadly, officers are authorized to use lethal force if there's a deadly threat to themselves or to a third party. And it's possible that that independent investigation could find that that is the case here.
And lastly, the police department moved quite quickly to release the body camera footage. Have you heard anything as to why that was?
Well, they continue to talk about the importance of transparency here, Lindsay. This is certainly not the first officer-involved fatal shooting that we've seen in Columbus. The mayor continued to hammer home the point about being transparent with the public in all of this, and even as the investigation is ongoing, they don't want to compromise the investigation, but they want the public to be informed. Now, I did ask them earlier today, because it is so unprecedented to release this body camera footage only hours after a shooting, whether or not they were going to continue to do this with all of these incidents moving forward, and they were a bit more non-committal. They said that they're going to try to remain committed to transparency, but there's a lot of variables in terms of getting that video out. But they say at least here, they wanted the public to know as early as possible what happened so that people could be more informed, because as everyone in the country is aware, these are very tense times, specifically with police and their interactions with African Americans. Lindsay?
Certainly tense times. Trevor Ault, our thanks to you. What are you waiting for? That was the question posed by the governor of Iowa today during her briefing as she warned of the issues vaccine hesitancy is creating in her state. But the reality is Iowa is not alone. ABC's Stephanie Ramos brings us more on this decline in demand.
Tonight, in the race to vaccinate, a new milestone, 200 million doses administered since President Biden took office, double his original goal of 100 million shots in the first 100 days.
We did it. Today, we hit 200 million shots.
And in a move to encourage people to get the vaccine, the White House giving a new tax credit to employers so workers can get paid time off to get a vaccine or recover from one.
No working American should lose a single dollar from their paycheck because they chose to fulfill their patriotic duty of getting vaccinated.
The country now heading for a tipping point. The Kaiser Family Foundation projecting in the next 2 to 4 weeks, vaccine supply will start to outstrip demand. In Galveston County, Texas, this vaccine site was ready to give out 5,000 daily doses last week, but only saw 300 to 400 appointments a day.
So what we've told the state is this week, please don't send us any more.
In northern Alabama, they're seeing cases of the virus tick up, but vaccine demand is down.
As it's kind of dropped down to the younger population, it seems like they're a little more concerned and hesitant.
But tonight, new analysis showing the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are also likely safe for pregnant women based on real-world data from 35,000 vaccinated women. As a CDC advisory panel prepares to meet on Friday about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the family of 18-year-old Emma Berkey identifying her as one of the 6 women out of 7 million people vaccinated with J&J who suffered extremely rare blood clots. It's unclear if the vaccine is responsible. Emma was hospitalized on a ventilator, but is slowly recovering.
Emma's likely going to have to relearn to walk, relearn to speak, all of those things.
Even with the challenges ahead, Emma's family wants Americans to get a vaccine.
They see this as just a 1 in a million situation. They feel strongly that people should get vaccinated and not use this as an excuse or a reason for fear.
Hi there, Lindsay. Indianapolis is preparing for the largest sporting event since the pandemic began. The Indy 500 says they will allow 135,000 fans back into the Speedway in May. That's about 40% capacity there. But before that, organizers plan to hold COVID vaccinations at the racetrack this week. Lindsay.
Stephanie, thank you. And when we come back, the new warnings in 2 nations about fake Pfizer COVID vaccines. The desperate search after a submarine with dozens on board goes missing. But up next, our journey to the place in America that could hold the key to a green future. Stay with us.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. The verdict.
Find the defendant guilty.
The aftermath.
That courtroom, being in there.
Now, this Friday night.
When you said a daddy changed the world.
For all the black daddies in the world.
Powerful new details and interviews.
That's not the Derek I knew back in high school.
Derek Chauvin made everyone uncomfortable.
The one word that I always come back to would probably be shattered.
The breaking new 2020, Friday night on ABC.
Somewhere out in the country, there's a man.
I'm Bobby.
Doing good things for good people. He'll walk a mile in their shoes, then get him a brand spanking new pair when he's done.
Just wanted you to have this.
Thank you.
You name it, he'll try. Even if it breaks him.
Bobby Bones, they're trying to break you.
Oh, great.
Breaking Bobby Bones. New series Monday, May 31st at 10 on National Geographic.
Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march.
You will not replace us.
Klansmen
policemen and neo-Nazis, skinheads. It's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown Hate, The War Among Us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. Good Morning America, #1 in the morning, 9 years running. World News Tonight with David Muir, #1 in the evening with America's most watched newscast. 2020, the #1 news magazine on Friday nights. The View, the #1 daytime talk show. And ABC News Live, #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
Fast-moving storms with tropical storm wind gusts are lashing parts of the Northeast. Hail could be seen in some areas just outside of Philly. Behind the storm, wind chills in the 20s and 30s for large sections of the country, now ready for winter to go away. And next, to a journey deep in the Nevada desert. It's a location that could dramatically accelerate our path to an all-electric vehicle world. Why? Because it's the only place in the U.S. where lithium is being commercially mined. Lithium is a key component in batteries, but can we make enough of it? And can we do it without harming our environment? Ginger Z reports.
The critical element that powers our fast and loud world comes from some of the quietest, most desolate land on Earth. Listen, we need lithium to fight climate change. It can power electric vehicles, laptops, and
the lithium that helps to power our phones looks like this. You can see why it's sometimes called white gold. But the only state that is commercially producing lithium right now, Nevada. But Las Vegas is not where it's at. We got to get into the Mojave Desert.
We drive 4 hours northwest of Vegas, right through the Mojave Desert and into Esmeralda County. Now, this is a county that does not even have a gas station or a traffic light, but they do have lithium.
I was really thinking that it would look like no man's land, and it does. Let's do this. Let's find some lithium.
Check this out. Between 2008 and 2018, annual global production of lithium more than tripled. Now by 2030, it's expected to go up more than 1,000%. Lithium production in the U.S. is just tiny compared to Australia, South America, and China. More than half the world's lithium is produced in Chile. In Australia, they're mining for it in solid form.
Here at Silver Peak, they're not mining rock, they're farming lithium. These brilliant blue pools come from wells that tapped underground salt aquifers. Each of them, nearly 500 football fields long, are rich in lithium.
It's the lightest metal known to man. It's very energy dense. That reactivity in nature makes it hard to come by. So what's happening here in this closed basin over tens of thousands of years is Mother Nature gradually bringing it into this valley. Like any other mineral that's extracted in a liquid form, you're going down anywhere from a couple hundred to a couple thousand feet.
Now, once the original well is drilled, it goes through a series of ponds. They look beautiful. The sun and the arid nature of Nevada here takes care of the processing. 18 months later, lithium carbonate. How much do you all mine?
Around the world, it's about 85,000 metric tons of lithium carbonate. Here, it's 5,000 of that 85. So a small amount, which is why we're looking to double it.
Does it have an agricultural or impact to the land surrounding?
So that water, untouched, would remain underground and it wouldn't have a benefit. Effectively, we're not using water that would otherwise be used for an agricultural purpose.
Evaporation is not the only way, though, to get lithium out. When you mine it out of the rock, it can be harder on the earth. Toxic waste, emissions, and pollution. But the government says we can regulate that. Here's the other deal, though. Lithium is finite. We have to find a way to recycle it.
And the promise of a renewable industry we believe is important is the recycling of lithium. So the idea would be we get to a point where you recycle the resource.
But that is something that we need to work on big time in this country and the globe.
During President Trump's administration, there was a big call to up the ante and produce more minerals like lithium right here in the U.S. And we've got it. California, for example, could produce up to 40% of the global lithium demand. So far, we have not been a big player in the lithium market, but that could change. We just got to get the technology to extract what is estimated to be an immense amount of lithium in the western U.S. So it's not just Nevada or California, but it's Arizona too. Some of that's going to come from the thousands of acres at 2 giant lithium projects already planned in Nevada. One of them is just over Rhyolite Ridge. They could create $9 billion in revenue for this part of Nevada, but they're also endangering a very rare wildflower.
You can see here, this is Team Buckwheat. We're just getting the smallest new little leaves for the spring growth.
You said as we walk in here, please be careful of where we're walking.
There are only 15,000 of these plants, more or less.
This varietal is not known to grow anywhere else in the world. The buckwheat adapted to that lithium-rich soil.
There is a focus on lithium right now. We're calling it the white gold rush here in Nevada, and it's attracting a lot of attention. But I wouldn't say it's worse than any other type of mining. Lithium is extremely important to tackling the climate crisis. If they could build this mine without destroying this little wildflower, we would probably walk away from this mine and go find a gold mine to fight instead.
So that's Patrick Donnelly. He's the Nevada State Director for the Center for Biological Diversity. He says this is not going to be the same mine that we saw at Silver Peak.
This is an open pit mine, so this is going to be much more reminiscent of a gold mine or a copper mine.
Once the mine goes in, how long do they have?
The mining company's own estimates are less than 10 years. It will be for them to strip mine this whole area. We're left with a big hole in the ground full of toxic pit lake water.
We are going to put enormous effort to support this plant, and we're using the state-of-the-art methods to make sure that there's no leaching of any kind into the soils.
James Calloway, the chairman of Ioneer, the company that's overseeing that mine at Rhyolite Ridge, he says we got to do it if we're going to catch up with our climate goals.
We will have enabled the production of 400,000 electric cars every year for the next 50 years.
It's a symbol of the debate between our energy future and our environment in the present.
We're facing dual crises. There's the climate crisis, which poses a threat to all life on Earth, but then there's the extinction crisis. This is a species of flower that grows nowhere else on Earth, but right here at Rhyolite Ridge. If this mine, which ostensibly is to prevent climate change from destroying the Earth, perpetuates the extinction crisis, then are we really saving the environment?
And this is why I'm here. I got an electric vehicle because I wanted to be a part of a solution. Then I realized, wait a minute, I'm sitting on a giant battery that I don't know where it came from or where it's going to go. I got to go find out where lithium is and what it is. And to know that we only have one commercial mine in the United States right now. We are such a small player, but this will make a difference.
It could. It could.
Is it better for us to do it right here than to be getting our phones from lithium in Australia or China or South America where we don't know that it's done right for our planet?
We absolutely need to do it right. And right now, those impacts are being offshored to distant countries. Do we need to do it here in America? We need to be asking those hard questions about what sacrifices are we going to make. Our advocacy to protect this little wildflower here does not mean that we're trying to avoid those hard questions. And lithium is part of our future, and so we need to have a reckoning about how we're going to do it without destroying biodiversity.
The quietest, most rare, could be the key to our future, if we do it right.
And Ginger Z joins us now. Ginger, your entire It's Not Too Late Earth Day special is now streaming on Hulu and will air on ABC News Live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. What are some other highlights that people can anticipate?
You know what? This goes so beyond the polar bears starving and all the images that we see every single Earth Day, and I really think that people will see that this is about the people on the planet. We're going to talk to Mustafa Santiago Ali about environmental injustice. We are going to talk to Anousheh Ansari, who is the first Middle Eastern astronaut, now the CEO of X Prize. She brings us the innovation that will solve a lot of our climate's problems, and that includes concrete. And I'm going to blow your mind with this one. Concrete, could it be its own country, Lindsay, in greenhouse gas emissions, the production of it, the transportation of it, second to only China and the United States. That's how big of an impact. So she and her X Prize contestants have found a way to make it better. So these alternatives that could bring our future into a clean and prosperous one.
And it sounds like you're also going to hand off some weather duties to our friend Matt Gutman. But so many people think that talking about climate change means doom and gloom. But your special, though, while certainly not sugarcoating what's happening, really focuses on how people can pitch in to help slow this climate emergency.
Yes, and like you said, there is doom and gloom, and we have to be realistic about that because hopefully it's getting people's attention. They're living it. That's why Matt Gutman has been in a lot of these places around the globe, seeing the impacts, like a Paradise, California, where wildfires not only, something that we've dealt with since the beginning of time, but now we're seeing at a higher rate. And that's really the biggest symptom of climate change, is when you have extreme fluctuations in weather really rapidly. So he'll look at that. Maggie Rulli's looking at all of the animals. And in general, I think that the optimism is key. That's why the whole series is called It's Not Too Late, because I really believe it's not. Innovation, technology, and optimism are what's going to get us there.
There is still time is another way to talk about it. Ginger Z, our thanks to you. And you can catch Ginger's entire hour-long It's Not Too Late Earth Day special tomorrow night on ABC News Live at 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern. Still ahead here on Prime, imagine losing your sense of taste and smell for months. This grim reality is being shared by some COVID long haulers around the world. But up next, how French researchers are using perfume to bring one's sense back. And you might be shocked at how much plastic is in the ocean. We take a look by the numbers. But first, our tweet of the day. NASA announces they have successfully created oxygen on Mars, key for future travel involving humans.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there.
She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart they did this.
It's the time of suspicion.
The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it. The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
The verdict.
Find the defendant guilty.
Guilty on all counts. Now, this Friday night.
That courtroom, being in there, this is going to go down in history as one of the biggest tragedies ever in life that a man could suffer.
Anger, heartbreak.
When you say Daddy changed the world, like,
for all the black daddies in the world.
Now, this Friday night, new interviews.
I couldn't believe how long it went on.
The look in that guy's eyes. Yeah, it was like he enjoyed it.
That's not the Derek I knew back in high school.
Derek Chauvin made everyone uncomfortable.
The one word that I always come back to would probably be shattered.
The breaking new ABC News 2020 event special, Friday night at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Welcome back, everyone. PPE, that was a big word during 2020. Personal protective equipment, those face masks, gloves, and wipes. They've certainly helped keep us healthy during this pandemic, but they've also been polluting our oceans. On this, the eve of Earth Day, we take a look at the seas by the numbers. Globally, an estimated 129 billion face masks and 65 billion gloves are being used each month. That's about 3 million face masks a minute. And in 2020 alone, about 1.5 2.5 billion face masks entered our oceans, according to the conservation group Oceans Asia. Most masks, gloves, and wipes are made from plastic fibers that will remain on the planet for decades and break into smaller and smaller pieces. A single face mask can release as many as 173,000 microfibers per day into the ocean, according to a study in Environmental Advances. The amount of plastic waste in the ocean is projected to triple in the next 20 years, and there are estimates that by the year 2048, we'll have more plastic in our oceans than fish. Just a horrifying thought. And we still have lots to get to here on Prime tonight. The dire situation in India. The health system is overwhelmed, and now word of a new Indian variant. Plus, the volcanic eye candy we all need during another heavy news week. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
We will guide you through it all tonight. We have made it through another week together.
Big hug,
We tell all our patients how much they're loved. We hold their hands.
David, we're showing our love and support for all the ICU staff.
They're the heroes in this.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. Good Morning America, #1 in the morning, 9 years running. World News Tonight with David Muir, #1 in the evening with America's most watched newscast. 2020, the #1 news magazine on Friday nights. The View, the #1 daytime talk show. And ABC News Live, #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News, honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
This is GMA3, what you need to know. GMA3.
A third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon.
It's all about you. Lunchtime on ABC.
The verdict.
Find the defendant guilty.
The aftermath.
That courtroom, being in there.
Now, this Friday night.
When you say a day to change the world.
For all the black daddies in the world.
Powerful new details and interviews.
That's not the Derek I knew back in high school.
Derek Chauvin made everyone uncomfortable.
The one word that I always come back to would probably be shattered.
The breaking new 2020, Friday night on ABC. Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime, 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Somewhere out in the country, there's a man.
I'm Bobby.
Walking a mile in people's boots and buying a new pair when he's done.
Just wanted you to have this.
Thank you.
Breaking Bobby Bones. New series Monday, May 31st at 10 on National Geographic.
World girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stab us, trying to put our hands on our grandma. Get here now.
In Columbus, Ohio, authorities say yesterday's fatal police shooting of 16-year-old Makia Bryant is under independent investigation.
Authorities who released the video say officers were responding to a 911 call when they found 16-year-old Makia Bryant threatening two girls with a knife. In a matter of seconds, the officer is seen shooting at Bryant when she lunged toward another girl. The teen's death happened minutes before a jury reached a guilty verdict in the trial of Derek Chauvin, and that touched off a protest in Ohio's capital city.
The mayor called the shooting tragic, but says the investigation is just starting.
We have to ask ourselves, what information did the officer have? What did he see? How much time did he have to assess the situation? And what would have happened if he had taken no action at all?
The interim police chief identified the officer who shot Bryant as Nicholas Reardon, who has been with that department since December of 2019.
Missing about 60 miles off the coast of Bali, a submarine from the Indonesian Navy. 53 people aboard the 40-year-old sub for a training mission. Officials now say an oil slick has been spotted right around the spot where the sub had been cleared to dive.
Some promising news from a new analysis of Moderna and Pfizer's vaccine among expectant mothers. Researchers studied 35,000 pregnant women who received an mRNA COVID shot. The results found the number of miscarriages or premature births were in line with the expected average, overall suggesting mRNA vaccines are likely safe for pregnant women and newborns. The findings published in NEJM. And you've heard of counterfeit PPE, now concern of counterfeit COVID vaccines. Pfizer confirms to ABC News it's a problem. The drug maker identifying counterfeit versions of its COVID vaccine in Mexico and Poland. A source telling us a substance found inside the vials of the fake vaccine in Poland was actually a cosmetic product. Pfizer warns not to trust online vendors selling the vaccine.
Queen Elizabeth says all of the tributes to her late husband have been a comfort to her on her 95th birthday. That's today. The Queen did not appear in public today, but on a post to her Twitter account, she wrote she is grateful for all the support and kindness she's received since the death of Prince Philip. Passed away aged 99 2 weeks ago and was buried on Saturday. Buckingham Palace says the Queen spent her birthday at Windsor Castle, where she was visited by several members of the royal family.
Some popular household items will soon cost you more due to pandemic-related supply issues. Procter & Gamble expected to increase prices up to 10%. It follows a similar price hike last month by rival Kimberly-Clark.
Welcome back. India's healthcare system is on the brink as COVID cases there continue to skyrocket and deaths climb as experts sound the alarm that the worst is yet to come. ABC's Ian Pannell brings us the very latest.
Tonight, India's in crisis as a second devastating wave of coronavirus sweeps this nation. The country of more than 1.3 billion people recording its highest ever daily death toll with over 2,000 deaths, though experts warn the real figure is even higher as many deaths are unreported. The country reporting nearly 300,000 new cases just today. Hospitals overwhelmed, ambulances serving as overflow rooms, patients reportedly forced to share beds in some cases, and the bodies are piling up, with funeral crews struggling to keep up with cremations. Oxygen supplies in the country are now severely low. Despite an initial tight lockdown, these were the scenes at the recent Hindu Kumbh festival, with millions unprotected and no distancing on the banks of the river Ganges. Now scientists fear the deadly wave could get even worse as a new, potentially more infectious strain appears to take hold.
So much concern about those variants. ABC's Ian Pannell joins us now. Ian, India is, of course, one of the biggest producers of a COVID vaccine, yet they're dealing with this tragic situation. What do you know about their vaccine rollout and strategy to tackle such a heavily populated country?
Yeah, 1.3 billion people, right? I mean, this is a gargantuan task. Now, India proudly boasted that it was the first country in the world, or the fastest country in the world, to vaccinate 100 million people. However, 1.3 billion is a long way to go. At the moment, they've vaccinated something around 127, 130 million people. However, there is still a long way to go, and vaccine production is slowing. They think that they've only got something like 27 million doses of the vaccine still left to administer, so they're now starting to have to ration it at the same time that they need to be rolling it out even faster to those states that are in the direst need. And interestingly, the president of the Serum Institute, this is the world's largest manufacturer of some of those vaccines, appealed directly to President Biden, saying, please lift the export ban on some of the raw materials, because unless countries like India can receive some of those materials, then it can't ramp up production. Other parts of the world are also in in a very similar position. There are a lot of criticisms over here in Britain and Europe, lots of wars of words over the decision to try and limit, or the efforts to try and limit the export of vaccines, calling it vaccine nationalism. But the truth is that the United States has had a ban on the export of these raw materials ever since the pandemic hit, and of course that has a knock-on effect on other countries. Understandably, every government has to look after its own people first, but that of course has a knock-on effect in countries like India, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Ryan, Ian, panel, our thanks to you. This is something we've heard a lot about. Loss of smell is one of the most common symptoms of COVID-19. For some long haulers, months have passed since they were last able to smell. In France, though, perfumers are trying to come up with a solution using their skill sets to teach patients how to smell again. Inez de la Cuetada brings us this story from Paris.
It's one of the strangest symptoms of COVID-19. Nearly half of all patients reporting a loss of taste or smell. COVID-19 taste tests going viral on social media.
Tropicana with my toothpaste.
With patients eating everything from raw onions
Nothing.
to wasabi Oreos.
Cheers.
But the phenomenon is no joke for Parisian Laurent Brassard, who lost his sense of smell 5 months ago when he contracted COVID. The joy of a morning coffee, it's one of the many things that now smell like cigarettes to him.
If you smell it through your nose, you smell cigarettes. But if you taste it, it's a little better.
Laurent now walks around with a new accessory, a smell stick that he uses up to 10 times a day to help get rid of the occasional smell of cigarette.
And this is a mocha.
Oh, okay.
Cafe latte.
Yeah, very nice smell.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I smell like my bath.
So you get the bad smell out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And after my coffee, it's better.
Laurent lives in the culinary capital of the world, Paris. But with the loss of smell, he's also lost some of his taste. That savory eclair, bland.
I think it's very sweet.
Okay.
Sugar.
While he's grateful he's recovered from the virus, the long-term effect is taking a real toll on his quality of life.
The life is very boring.
Boring.
Because I like cook.
Laurent is part of the 10% of people who suffer from long-term COVID-related anosmia or loss of smell. It's not a death sentence, but doctors say losing one of the 5 senses can lead to more serious conditions.
Olfactory loss is something really distressful for patients. They have more anxiety and depression because of the consequences on their social interactions, and most importantly, they lost their ability to detect hazards.
Dr. Hakeem Ben-Qatar says one of the only real proven treatments right now is what's known as olfactory training, the premise that scent can be learned. And it's what brought Laurent to Paris's perfume school, where the country's future noses learn to hone their sense of smell. Perfumers here are drawing on their expertise to help COVID patients regain their scent. It's a kind of rehab for the nose.
C'est comme quand vous cassez le bras.
It's like when you break your arm. You need to go to physical therapy to move it again, to find the ways to move your arm again. It's the same with smell. Training it means you can get it back.
Laurent has been meeting with Justine once a week, and in between sessions, he trains on his own.
It's almost like homework. You have homework to do where you have to smell different scents every day.
I make exercise every day, every morning, every night, exercise. 5 on the morning, 5 on the night.
Justine prepares a scent with special meaning to each patient. For Laurent, it's the smell of orange juice, which he used to enjoy every morning with his family. And his hard work is slowly paying off. At this session, a breakthrough.
Cherchez dans vos souvenirs. Une émotion, peut-être.
Un peu, non, fruits.
Fruits, très bien.
Agrumes, citron.
Tout à fait.
Des choses comme ça.
Est-ce que vous sentez l'orange?
For the first time in months, finally, a whiff of orange.
Oui, ça pourrait être de l'orange, ouais.
Ça pourrait.
Ouais.
The promising smell of orange today, a sign he may be able to enjoy a coffee and eclair again in the future. Inez de la Cuetara in Paris for ABC News.
Excited for his progress and that potential breakthrough. Our thanks to Inez for that. And next, we travel to the Icelandic peninsula, where a volcanic eruption is making headlines and attracting visitors from around the world. And with Earth Day being celebrated tomorrow, ABC's Will Reeve took a closer look at this natural wonder.
It's an eruption nearly 800 years in the making and causing quite the commotion on this Icelandic peninsula.
Look there at all that lava coming out, 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the first time in 800 years that the volcano on this peninsula has erupted.
Breaking through the Earth's surface in March, additional fissures continuing to open, forming an ethereal landscape. Iceland's eruption is classified as effusive when tectonic plates pull apart, exposing glowing rivers of red lava.
The eruption is happening in just about the best place it could, because it's happening in a place that's quite far from any human habitations, and it's quite far from farms.
Helicopters circling around, tourists hiking down to the foot of the lava that keeps expanding by the day, new fissures opening. This volcano will be here for a long time.
Now, scientists are racing to Iceland, not only for what it can teach us about our own planet, but for what secrets it might hold about other planets like Mars.
Iceland and Mars are very similar in that they both have volcanoes that are really similar type. And the volcanoes on Mars, we haven't seen one of those erupt. We know that they've erupted in the last couple million years to billions of years, but we've never actually seen one.
Back here on Earth, warnings to be cautious.
People need to take care. It seems to be a nice, enjoyable eruption. There is plenty of dangers in the area.
As thousands converge to bear witness to a breathtaking spectacle.
Lindsay, this is the first time in 800 years a volcano has erupted here, and as that 2,000-degree lava spews out of the ground, it's changing the landscape constantly. New fissures are opening, new rivers of lava are coming down, and experts expect this to keep growing and going for months and maybe even years to come. A new literal hotspot in Iceland. Lindsay?
What a cool assignment there, Will. Our thanks to you. And before we go tonight, the image of the day. Take a look at this tunnel near Paisley Park. It's been 5 years since Prince left us, his fans gathering and paying tribute in his home state of Minnesota and across the country. That is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thank you so much for streaming with us. And coming up in the next hour, we're staying on top of several things. Will lawmakers come together and pass new police reform legislation? Our look at the push to pass the George Floyd bill. And we have a conversation with an author who digs into the growing role of Amazon and how it's transforming our lives. The online retailer is pushing back.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. Good Morning America, #1 in the morning, 9 years running. World News Tonight with David Muir, #1 in the evening with America's most watched newscast. 2020, the #1 news magazine on Friday nights. The View, the #1 daytime talk show. And ABC News Live, #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there.
She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart they did this. It's the time of suspicion.
The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march.
You will not
Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We are monitoring several developments here at ABC News at this hour. Police in Columbus, Ohio are asking for patience after an officer shot and killed a 16-year-old girl in Columbus, Ohio. Authorities released new body camera footage today. Police say the video conclusively shows that Micaiah Bryant was armed with a knife and was lunging towards someone at the time she was shot. Questions are swirling, though, about how the police department in that city is using lethal force. Bryant's death alongside Casey Goodson Jr. and Andre Hill recently have angered many in that community, leaving the mayor tonight to ask, quote, how did we get here? The U.S. is inching closer to a tipping point when it comes to vaccinations. The challenge now is getting more people to take it. CDC stats show that the vaccination rate is stalling. President Biden announced a tax credit to encourage employers to pay workers to take time off in order to be vaccinated. And the acting Capitol Police Chief says her department has seen a 65% increase in threats against congressmen and senators compared to 2020. That department is now asking for new funding to increase the number of sworn officers. And now to the aftermath of that verdict in Minneapolis. Former officer Derek Chauvin guilty on all 3 counts. From relief to resolve, many are trying now to move beyond the cheers to meaningful change. And what comes next for Chauvin? Our Alex Perez reports in from Minneapolis.
Tonight, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is inmate 261557 at Minnesota's only maximum security prison, spending 23 hours a day in a stark cell like this one, isolated from his fellow prisoners for his own safety in what's called administrative segregation. Chauvin, the rare police officer tried and convicted for killing someone while on duty.
Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff.
Chauvin handcuffed and led away. The Justice Department now weighing whether to bring federal civil rights charges against him. And today, Attorney General Merrick Garland putting the entire Minneapolis Police Department under the microscope.
The Justice Department has opened a civil investigation to determine whether the Minneapolis Police Department engages in a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful policing.
The probe will assess whether the department engages in discriminatory conduct.
It will include a comprehensive review of the Minneapolis Police Department's policies, training, supervision, and use of force investigations.
Minneapolis Police Chief Medaria Arredondo testified Chauvin's actions in no way, shape, or form reflect departmental policy.
It is not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
Judea Reynolds, now 10 years old and the youngest witness in the George Floyd trial, also got to witness somewhat of an end to what's been a year-long traumatic time in her life. Our TJ Holmes caught up with her and talked to her about what the future holds for her.
Has the past year of your life felt different? What has it been like for you? Has it been hard? Has it felt like you're a kid?
It's kind of been hard, and it's kind of feeling like I'm feeling like a grown-up, and I'm but just a little kid.
You've had to deal with a lot of grown-up stuff the past year. You ever think what would have happened or could have happened if you didn't go to Cup Foods that day?
That they'll still be killing us and hurting us and forcing us to get in a car and stuff. But my cousin said, go walk in the store and go get you some snacks or something, what you want. And then I came out, and then that's when I saw my cousin according George Floyd, and Chauvin had a knee on George Floyd's neck. And I was feeling kind of mad and sad that what happened to him.
What did you think when you heard the verdict, when the judge was reading today and guilty, guilty, guilty? What was going through your mind when you heard that today?
I was like, what do guilty mean? And my mom told me, like I forgot what she said.
You know what it means now. You know he's going to jail, and maybe
For a long time.
For a long time. So, what do you think now, from seeing what he did on the street to now he's going to jail? What do you think about that?
I feel like some of us is kind of safe, and George Floyd can breathe now, and he's with God in heaven, and he's nice. I mean, he was a good father to his kids, though, and he couldn't feed his kids like my dad do. He couldn't take them outside like my dad do.
Toy? I was holding on all day until and she just got me. Where do you go from here? What does the future hold for her when it comes to this memory still being there for her?
Yeah, for me, Judea is a part of history. And she makes it very light when she says she asked her cousin to walk her to the store. She actually was very persistent and begged her cousin to walk her to the store. And when that moment happened, that's when they happened to be at the scene on 38th in Chicago. So if not for Judea, I don't know if this would have been broadcast on a live feed for the world to see. This murder happened. And so where do we go from here? We celebrate this young lady. She's only 10 years old, and she's changed the course of history when it comes to policing in America. And we celebrate her.
Wow, George Floyd can breathe now out of the mouths of babes. Our thanks to TJ Holmes for that. Fresh off the conviction of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, Democrats in Congress are now pushing legislation that they say will tackle the long overdue problem of police reform. Ike Ejachi has the details.
As the trial over the death of George Floyd comes to a close, questions this morning about the bill that bears his name. Overnight, Democrats renewing their push for Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. The bill, originally introduced last year, would ban chokeholds and no-knock warrants, mandate that deadly force be used only as a last resort, and set up a national registry for police misconduct. The bill passed the Democrat-led House, but Republicans have blocked it in the Senate.
Their complaint about this act is that the bill would weaken law enforcement and put officers at risk. But this clearly is something that the White House stands firmly behind. The question is whether there is a political appetite to move this out of Capitol Hill, out of the House, frankly, with where Democrats control the House, and into law to get on the president's desk.
The Floyd family's attorney, Ben Crump, expressing his hope for the bill during a call with President Biden just after the verdict was read.
Hopefully this is the momentum for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act to get passed and have you sign.
The president and vice president addressing the legislation last night.
This bill would hold law enforcement accountable and help build trust between law enforcement and our communities. This bill is part of George Floyd's legacy, not as a panacea for every problem, but as a start.
But it shouldn't take a whole year to get this done. We're going to continue to fight for the passage of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act so I can sign into law as quickly as possible. There's more to do.
Our thanks to Ike for that. Breaking news tonight out of Israel. The Israeli military says air raid sirens have sounded near a desert town home to the country's secretive nuclear reactor. In a tweet, Israel's defense force says a surface-to-air missile was fired from Syria to Israel's southern desert. This comes as tensions between Israel and Iran are escalating after the Iranians have blamed Israel for a blackout at Iran's nuclear facility that may have set back their nuclear program for months. Israel has not commented on that incident. Amazon has had a banner year with the rise in online sales, of course, due to COVID, expanding warehouse operations and adding to its network of distribution centers across the country. While consumers love low prices and fast delivery, Amazon's growing influence from small towns to the halls of power in Washington, D.C. have changed nearly every aspect of American life. Alec McGillis, an award-winning journalist at ProPublica, writes about the rise of Amazon in his new book, Fulfillment: Winning and Losing in One-Click America. Alec, welcome to the show. Now, you set out to write a book about the growing disparities between certain big cities and smaller rural communities across the country. How did Amazon come to represent what you wanted to say about the changing forces in America?
Yeah, I've been wanting to write about these disparities for quite a while now, just these incredible gaps that have been growing between sort of winner-take-all cities and left-behind cities and towns in our country. And it's a gap that's really not healthy for either set of cities, really. Everything's kind of off kilter. And I settled on Amazon for two reasons. One is that Amazon is now just so ubiquitous in our country that it's a very handy thread to kind of take you around America and what we're becoming today, sort of how we live on a daily basis. The company's just everywhere you turn. So it's a good metaphor for the country right now. But it's also a handy frame for this story of inequality because it has itself contributed to these disparities.
And Amazon corporate spokesperson Jay Carney has responded to your book in a letter to the New York Times, saying in part, the book somehow casts Amazon in the role of villain, ignoring the fact that Amazon has been a positive force in the U.S. economy, creating 400,000 much-needed jobs last year alone. The truth is that Amazon has helped lift communities across this country with industry-leading pay and benefits, including a starting wage of at least $15 an hour, and invested billions in COVID-related initiatives to keep employees safe and deliver for our communities. What's your response to the fact that Amazon has done more than many large employers that don't pay that $15 living wage and who were cutting jobs during the pandemic?
Well, I think it's important to put things in the broader context. First of all, as far as all those jobs that were created, it's true. It was extraordinary last year, their growth, 400,000 new jobs in this country, mostly in warehouses. But we have to keep in mind what those jobs have replaced. Those jobs have replaced hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of brick-and-mortar retail jobs. One of the biggest job loss categories in the country in recent years has been the retail salesperson. And so in a sense, we've replaced one sort of retail work with another work. Then as far as the pay goes, it's true. Amazon did raise the pay from 13 or 14 an hour to 15 an hour a couple years ago. But it's more or less stayed at that level since then. They took away the $2 bump that they gave for the pandemic. Early in the pandemic, they added a $2 bump for workers. They took that away just a few months later. And you have to think about what these pay levels are being compared to. $15 an hour is certainly more than a fast food job. It's more than the minimum wage. But it's actually less than a lot of other warehouse jobs pay these days. It's less than some of the retail jobs that these warehouse jobs have replaced. And it's also less than the sort of assembly line work that this warehouse work often resembles in its very sort of physical, taxing nature. The fact is, if these jobs were as good and well paid as the company claims, you wouldn't see 100% turnover at a lot of their warehouses the way that one does. People just don't stay at these jobs very long.
And we saw this week the retail union has gone to the NLRB and accused Amazon of illegally interfering with efforts by warehouse workers in Bessemer, Alabama to unionize. Union leaders contend that Amazon threatened workers with layoffs and even closing the warehouse if the union vote passed. Now, Amazon denies this and says that the union is misrepresenting the facts. While this union vote is about one Alabama warehouse, you've said that it's a sign of a bigger problem for American labor, as you describe in the book. How so?
Well, yeah, the stakes are so large in fights like the one in Alabama. The fact is that the more that Amazon grows, the faster that it grows, the more that it really kind of comes to define working class labor in this country. I mean, it used to be that if you were looking for a job, you didn't have a college degree, didn't have any specialized training, you would maybe go down to the steel mill, to the factory, or to the shopping mall to get a job. Now, increasingly, you go to the warehouse. This has become the sort of the dominant space for sort of entry-level labor in this country. So if you want to lift up a whole swath of sort of service-level jobs in this country and make them more sustainable, make them something that people could actually raise a family on and have a career at, you really have to really focus on the warehouses, because they are sort of what work now is today in America.
And you've spent years working on this story, so you clearly understand the effect of Amazon's dominance. So I'm curious how you reconcile this with your own personal behavior. Do you shop at Amazon?
I do, as a sort of a last resort. I don't rule it out entirely, and I don't suggest that people do rule it out entirely. It's certainly for some people, it's a convenience. Things you can't find elsewhere. You need something real quick. What I do believe, though, is that coming off this past year, where we embraced the one-click approach to our daily life so entirely with such extremity because of the pandemic, that comes at a real cost for our communities, both the local businesses, the local tax base, just the really sort of the daily civic life of the places we live in. And it does seem very important that we now, coming out of the pandemic, that we're able to a return to our actual towns and cities that we live in, return to the physical world around us, both with our shopping and also with our, going back to theater, going to the movies, not just being on Netflix, really kind of get back into the places we live and sort of patronize all the things that make the towns and cities we live in special and sort of get out of our hunkering down.
Alex McGillis, your book, Fulfillment, Winning and Losing in One Click America, is available now. We thank you so much for your time and insight.
Thank you.
And still to come, Putin's threat to the West and the reunion between twins that you just have to see to believe.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, Michael Strahan. Wake up with America's #1 most watched morning show. ABC's
Good Morning America.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source. Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. Good Morning America, #1 in the morning, 9 years running. World News Tonight with David Muir, #1 in the evening with America's most watched newscast. 2020, the #1 news magazine on Friday nights. The View, the #1 daytime talk show. And ABC News Live, #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
Welcome back. We are tracking several international headlines at this hour. There is a search underway for an Indonesian submarine that vanished not long after it asked for permission to dive into the Bali Sea. 53 people were on board. Search teams have found an oil slick in the area that could be from the vessel. The Biden administration is ratcheting up the pressure against Myanmar's military government. 2 state-owned companies responsible for significant amounts of foreign income have now been sanctioned. The State and Treasury Departments say their moves are aimed at reducing the military's resources after their coup and deadly crackdown on pro-democratic protesters. And Russian President Vladimir Putin delivered a warning during his annual State of the Nation address to any nation that may encroach on their security interest. He said Moscow's response will be quick and tough, adding that whoever did it will be sorry. The warning comes amid a massive Russian military buildup near Ukraine, where tensions and violence have escalated between Russian-backed separatists and Ukrainian forces. The U.S. has urged the Kremlin to pull back. Police in Miami are investigating a security breach at the airport there. Police say a man in a hospital gown broke through the window of an ambulance, hopped the fence, and then ran onto the tarmac. He was caught near an American Airlines plane. No flights were affected. Next to an exclusive story about a beautiful reunion between a pair of identical twin sisters that you just have to see to believe. Steve Osunsami has this story.
This is a story about 2 little girls and the beauty of a life's journey. Emily Bushnell says she grew up in a home full of love in the suburbs of Philadelphia. She was the youngest child in a Jewish family who welcomed her into their arms.
My name is Emily Bushnell, and today is my 36th birthday. I was adopted when I was 3 months old. I came to the United States on an airplane from Korea.
While Emily was getting close to a kitten named Sumi in Philadelphia, Molly Sinnert was getting just as close to a cat named Whiskers growing up in Florida.
My name is Molly Sinnert, and today is my 36th birthday. I was also adopted to a Jewish family. My parents drove up from Florida, picked me up right off the plane. They tell me I looked at my mom's hair because she has blonde hair, and I was just in awe, and I couldn't stop staring at it.
They were separated by thousands of miles, but had no idea how close they really were. This is third grade. This is middle school. This is their senior year, and neither of them knew that the other existed. Molly is now married, living near Palm Beach, Florida. Emily is a single mother in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, with an 11-year-old daughter who had unanswered questions.
I wanted to do the DNA test because she was adopted, and I wanted to find out if I had more family on her side.
Emily didn't want to do it, but her daughter, Isabel, took the test. On the other side of the country, Molly Sinnert wanted to know her health history and took the same DNA test. She got the results back a little over a month ago, and it didn't make sense at all.
I clicked on the close relative, and I didn't understand it. You share 49.96% DNA with this person, and we predict that she's your daughter. Like, this is obviously not right because I've never gone into labor, don't have children. And sure enough, she had written back and said, "Wow, Molly, my mother was adopted from South Korea in 1985. And I'm gonna cry because it's just reliving it is amazing. And her birthday is March 29th. My life changed.
The reason the DNA test was telling her she had a daughter is because she had a sister who had a daughter, and that sister is her identical twin.
A hole was immediately filled in my heart. Although I have family who love me and adore me and have been absolutely wonderful, there was always a feeling of disconnection. Finding out that I had an identical twin sister just made everything so clear. It all makes sense.
They started texting and sending each other photos and started noticing that even when they were just a few years old, both families were cutting their hair the same. Of all the photos, they say this one stood out.
Our senior prom picture, where we're both wearing a beaded dress with a strapless style, and our hair was exactly the same. And I realized that this is probably one of many twin moments that we'll discover.
They decided they wouldn't Zoom or FaceTime when they saw each other for the first time. They wanted it to be in person.
Until we meet each other in person on our birthday. What?
March 29th.
Getting really nervous now. Oh my God.
And we were there.
Oh my God. This is real. It's real. It's real.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You do the same things as I do. Oh my gosh, this is so bizarre. This is so weird. It's like looking in a mirror.
It really is. Oh my God. Wow.
Our new life is going to start.
Beginning of the rest of our lives. It's the happiest moment of my life. I can honestly say that.
I'm not sure why we were separated at birth. I would just ask them why. We could have been best friends. We could have done these things together. But at this point, I think we just only have great things to look forward to.
I think I'm still the taller one.
They know now they were separated in Korea, a place they now plan to visit.
I was robbed of the last 36 years of a life that I could have had with my twin. But at the same time, I'm very grateful and excited for what lies ahead.
And now, all these years later, after birthday presents,
Happy 36th birthday. 36th birthday.
And birthday cake, these sisters are on that journey together. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, Atlanta.
What a birthday present that will last a lifetime. Our thanks to Steve Osunsami for bringing us that. That is our show for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us, and good night.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fast